Dr. Stefan Frädrich is a medical doctor, author, speaker, coach, and founder of numerous coaching companies. Since 2021, he has been running the iconic Leadership Summit, an exclusive retreat for corporate leaders which actively integrates coaching and psychedelics. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Stefan Frädrich.
Thanks a lot and good morning. And first of all, let me say it feels like speaking after Paul feels a little bit like speaking after the Pope himself. So thank you for your work. It's a bit unbelievable for me that I am speaking at a psychedelic conference because I come from a totally different field. I was working as a doctor, as a physician. If you never met me as a doctor, that's okay. I was working in psychiatry. And there was one day I felt that everything I did there was totally in vain. I was working for 1.5 years at a depression ward, and the most depressive person in the whole hospital was the senior physician. And I thought, I'm totally wrong here. And so I changed my life and got out of there, and I started a coaching and training business, and I went to training myself in many competencies. And I thought I was doing the right thing, teaching people how to do things and building companies around it. And over the years, it became quite successful. This is my job, which I was doing for many years. And in fact, we founded I think the largest company or the largest festival for personal growth in Europe. And we're doing conferences like this. And imagine me being the founder of something like that, and one day a personal crisis hit. And I could not come over that. I was thinking, Stefan, what did you do wrong? You did all this psychology stuff. You did all this coaching stuff. And you cannot come over that personal crisis. So what is happening to you? And this was four years ago, and then a friend of mine introduced me to psychedelics. And it totally changed my life. It was absolutely an awesome experience. We had this coaching day. We went deeply into that trip. And it was like psychotherapy, 5 years of psychotherapy in a few hours. So went back to the childhood, went to the problems. Number 1, solved in 2 minutes. Number 2, solved in 1 minute. Number 3, in 2 minutes. And it was just awesome. It was absolutely incredible. And from that day on, everything changed, and I tried to focus on what we should be really doing, because we're so keen on making people work, making people functioning in life, especially leaders. Are any leaders here among us? People who lead teams. Who of you suffered from bad leadership already? How many of you practice bad leadership? And so the point is, how could we treat leading people in the world who have organizations, who have companies, who have families, communities? What could it make them change for the better? And my way is, the last years it was always doing this personal growth stuff, coaching, motivation, business, and so on. And then I went into the jungle. And it was an awesome experience. I did all that stuff, ayahuasca, etc., and it really changed my life. And what happened is, you go deeply into yourself. And instead of just focusing on reaching goals and being successful, I think there's another way of being successful in life. For example, who of you has reached goals already in your life? How many of you? Who failed reaching goals? Who's failing all the time in reaching goals? So let me give you a short example how I see the goals, because I do not believe in goals anymore. Totally not. So, a simple example. How many of you have been doing a diet already in your life? So losing 5 kilo or something like that? You know how it works, okay? Eat less sugar, move more, drink less alcohol, eat more green stuff. So that's not difficult. But the way we approach these projects is quite strange. We say, okay, this is our goal, 5 kilos. Lose 5 kilos. And now we make an action plan. Pizza says, eat me. We say, no. The beer says, drink me. We say, no, -1 kilo. Pizza says again, eat me. No, -2 kilo, 3, 4, 5. We reach the goal. What is the problem now? The pizza still says, eat me. We say, okay, I've reached the goal. Do it once, twice, 10 times, 100 times. So -5 kilo plus 6. So you just lose what you wanted to achieve. So it's not about reaching the goal. The problem is something different, or the challenge is something different. What kind of person should we become that keeps -5 kilograms without fighting? And so the question is, why do we eat at all? Because it tastes good. It should taste good. But many people eat because they have emotional problems. It helps them against stress, it helps them to relax, it helps them to feel better in some kind of having a control over their lives. So you see, the goal is not what should be achieved. It's a question of identity, who you are, how you live, what do you want to do, and why you do things. So it's a question of the purpose. And I compare this to a compass. So we have one direction is the goal we're heading in life, -5 kilogram. We want to be successful. We want to be a good partner in our partnership. The second direction is what we do. It's the way we eat as we ate before, or we behave as we behaved before. So, or we do not want to work where we work because we do not like the work. And the third direction is our purpose. So why do we want to lose 5 kilograms? Why do we want to be successful? Many want to be successful just to impress their parents or to impress their spouse or to be in that kind of system. And so what's hit me is that life works totally different inside out when you first find your focus, your purpose, the first direction. Who are you? Why are you doing this? What for? And then build a way in directly this direction, and then you will reach your goals automatically. And this totally changed my life, how I did my leadership trainings, or how I did my motivational talks, and how I was working to people. And it really worked fascinatingly well in the last years. And so my work just began. In the jungle, you do not meet only shamans, you also meet wonderful women. So this is my wife. We fell in love. We started a company which is called Reality Upgrade. We are doing psychedelic retreats since a few years. And what we focused on is really upgrading the reality, using the potential of psychedelics to leadership people who can make a difference in life of other people. And so we go into the jungle, we work with shamans, we go to wonderful places, to magic places, we go to centers here, this is a center in the Netherlands. And I could tell you many stories how people's lives changed after that with just one intervention. Just go to a retreat or a coaching lesson with the substances. And all these people are very, very successful in life. But often they do not feel successful. And also their employees do not feel that they love their job or they worship what they are doing. And so I think this is something we should change, because we always have this bottom-up approach, which we're all doing. We use psychedelics, we learn about psychedelics, and we say, okay, these people at the top, they should change. They should behave better, they should do things better, and they shouldn't be less strict or less rude, whatever. And we should do it differently. And if you see it from a neurological way, you all know this kind of network stuff. It's about how we connect the brain differently when we use psychedelics. And the point is, if you get out of your routines, if you get out of what you daily think, if you get out of your stuck state, there can be so many positive effects, especially on leaders. You enhance lateral thinking. You see a clearer vision of your goals, your performance will enhance, you will have a higher emotional intelligence, inner clarity, you feel more connected, you feel more creative. And there are all these positive effects on psychedelics. And this is absolutely incredible, because If you think of just taking a substance which changes your life so profoundly and do it in the right environment, what could that mean for the world? So I asked ChatGPT, and okay, how can the use of psychedelics positively influence leadership in the future? So increased self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Many psychedelics, such as psilocybin and LSD, can help individuals access deep parts of their subconscious. This could lead to enhanced self-awareness, allowing leaders to better understand their strengths, weaknesses, and emotional triggers. Leaders with higher emotional intelligence can build stronger relationships, foster empathy, and better manage diverse teams. What a chance that we can do that. Enhance creativity and problem solving. Psychedelics have been shown to promote divergent thinking, where individuals can generate a wide variety of ideas and solutions. This can be extremely valuable for leaders who need to think outside of the box, tackle complex challenges, and innovative in rapidly changing environments. Improved stress management and mental clarity, and so on. Expanded perspectives and empathy. Psychedelics can sometimes facilitate a sense of interconnectedness with others and the world. Reduction in ego-driven decision-making. Psychedelics have the potential to reduce the dominance of the ego, and so on. Promoting ethical and conscious leadership. Fostering innovation and change, building stronger team dynamics. So psychedelics could have the potential to reshape leadership in a more mindful and human-centered way in the future. And if we think how we can change the world for the better, I think we have to change it not just bottom up, also top down. So if there are leaders in the world who are open for these ideas, just be open and try it. In the last years, I've been talking to so many leaders, to many important people, and they all kind of heard about that. But they are anxious themselves. They are cautious. They do not want to experience that because it could show them something deeply inside which they do not want to face. But we can help people who lead organizations, lead families, companies, to dig deeply into that. And wouldn't it be fascinating if we could win people which have a very important leading role in the world to be open for psychedelics? There are these people who are open for psychedelics. I was at a conference at Richard Branson's Necker Island, his private island, last year, where many international psychedelic experts were. And there's a change in the world happening right now. People open up to the possibilities of psychedelics. And what we could achieve with that change is something huge. Let me give you a short description of what a leader does and what an icon does. Leaders are people who lead teams, regular leaders. You go from business school, you enter a leadership role. Leaders motivate. Icons inspire. Leaders play games. Icons invent them. Leaders prove themselves. Icons know themselves. Leaders connect. Icons are connected. Leaders drive themselves. Icons rest in themselves. Leaders see tasks. Icons see visions. Leaders have control. Icons have trust. Leaders achieve goals. Icons give meanings. Leaders accomplish. Icons flow. Leaders lead teams. Icons shape the world. Leaders live change, and icons change lives. And so I'm absolutely proud that we can do this now in a legal surrounding on a regular basis with leaders in the world. We are, by the way, we have the iconic leadership summit with Richard Branson at his island. And if you are interested in having more information about this leadership context, you can visit us on that website. And There's one thing I would really like to share. It's, for me, who's been doing this work, this speaking work, this coaching work for so many, many years, and really with that thought, it's important to speak up, and it's important to change people's lives for the better. This is the best thing that can happen to this world. And I'm deeply convinced that in the next years, the use of psychedelics can change the lives of all of us for the better, and we should start with the leaders, people who have the responsibility for their communities, for their organizations, and if we convince them to have a psychedelic experience, I think the world will be a wonderful place, much more wonderful than it is anyway. Thank you for listening to me.